Hey, what's going on? My name is Bitcoin Benito. You're now watching the greatest show that has ever happened. Today, I'm here with a very, very special guest, Michael Sartain. He is a captain in the Air Force. He is also a founder of Men of Action, which is a networking group. And he's also the host of many international bikini competitions. In fact, I'm going to allow him to introduce himself. I kind of halfway did it for you. Go ahead, take the floor.
What's going on, man? My name is Michael. I'm a cat DILF. I rescue cats. I have a very, very offensive podcast that seems to make a lot of people angry. And I host, like you said before, I host some pageants, but I also have the Men of Action mentoring program where I try to teach people about leadership, networking, and how to use social media to grow their level of status so they can get a better job, so they can date a more beautiful woman, so they can do a lot of different stuff like that. So that's basically what I've been doing. I've been teaching for like the last 14 years, and I've been hosting these events. I don't just host pageants. I also host charity events, influencer charity events where we try to raise money for animal rescue, homeless children, domestic abuse, troops overseas. We have a breast cancer awareness that's going to come up October 15th. And I invite a bunch of influencers to come out there and help us raise money for that. And then I teach my clients how to do something similar, how to use charity events, pageants, list parties, theme parties, container events, conventions, how to use them as ways to network in order to level up their life.
Okay, awesome. And so this is a cryptocurrency channel, everything like that.
Yeah.
I do have a slight gripe. Anytime you do talk about crypto, you always say crypto scammers or NFT or things like that. Well, I do admit that there are people that scam people multiple times.
Yeah. The problem is that those people are the top of the funnel. The problem is when it's Logan Paul, who's more famous than anyone else in the space, then what happens is that, the problem is like there's room in this space to be legitimate because there are so many scammers. And because this is an unregulated market. I come from listed equities. I used to be a quantitative analyst. When you go to like regulated, listed equities, in that place, there's certain things you're allowed to say, and there's certain things you're not allowed to say, and those things do not apply to cryptocurrency, and they certainly don't apply on Twitter. One of the things what you were going to ask before about using social media in the crypto space is one of the reasons why the crypto space is so much bigger on Twitter than it is on Instagram is that on Instagram people are generally trying to show some level of status. They're either girls are trying to show how pretty they are, guys are trying to show how, guys are on there trying to pick up girls, or people are trying to show cool cars or, cool tricks or, skateboarding tricks or BMX tricks or bikinis or just whatever. But the things they're trying to show on there, even cute animals, they're trying to show levels of status. They're trying to show levels of relevancy, levels of competency, and they're trying to get other people to watch. They're all trying to go viral, right? So on YouTube, what you'll notice, on Instagram, what you'll notice is it's less an anonymity. People are a lot nicer on Instagram. If you guys have ever had an Instagram following and a Twitter following at the same time, you'll notice on Instagram, people will not call you horrible fucking names on Instagram, but on Twitter, because of the anonymity, people are not on Twitter. You're not out on Twitter trying to pick up women. Because of that, people are much more likely to call themselves, Bitcoin Jesus 68472. And then it's a, their avatar is like a picture of Andrew Tate or Elon Musk or something like that. And it's like they're anonymous. And so because they're anonymous, they have these Twitter muscles and they feel like, they can talk a lot of trash. And so because of that type of environment kind of festers in the Twitter space where it doesn't so much on Instagram. And YouTube is YouTube and TikTok very similar to Twitter. Again, so what does that mean? That means that what happens is in the Twitter space where a lot of people who are not into that techno, not deep into the Bitcoin space, into the blockchain space, they're not being informed about it, and their only exposure to those people is Logan Paul. Their only exposure to those people is Sam Bankman-Fried. Their only exposure to those people is like one scam after another, one FT. It's those apes. It's whatever. It's stuff like that. And even when you listen to Ty Lopez when he sold his crypto course, he was skeptical in the course, talking about, hey man, I don't know if all this stuff is going to work. And so I think the best way to approach this whole industry is to understand you can make a lot of money, and there is a lot of skepticism in it, right? It's very much, if people are willing to do the work and willing to do the study and then willing to actually make the claims that, hey, just to let you know, you may lose money by doing this, then those people I think are pretty, worthwhile to listen to. But there's just so many people who aren't doing that. Hey, what again, I'm bringing him up again. Logan Paul said he was going to pay back his investors. He did not do that. And he easily could have. I mean, we're talking $6, maybe $12 million. That's a rounding error for Logan Paul. He makes more than that in a fight. Like
something like that.
Huh?
Isn't he worth like $300 million?
I don't know what he is, but what I know is that it's absurd for him to be going through something like this and just sort of perpetuating. One of the problems, Benito, is that like, if I'm a person who's studying finance my whole life, and then all of a sudden I have a burnout cousin who just smokes a bunch of blunts and comes back, he's like, yo, bro, gotta buy Bitcoin right now. Let's say this is like 2009. And so, my burnout cousin ends up buying Bitcoin and makes a fucking ton of money. And he's driving around in like a new Mercedes. Like in my mind, I'm like, this is the dumbest shit I've ever heard of in my life. This guy did no work. And all of a sudden he like 10x his money. Like, what is going on here? It just feels like a scam. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. I think one of the biggest problems that crypto, okay, look, I should have started off by saying this. I think blockchain is the future. I think cryptocurrency overall is the future. I think decentralized finance is the future. Please understand. I want to say that in the beginning, because people think I'm really hard on crypto. It's not that I'm hard on crypto. It's like having a son. Benito, it's like having a son, Ben, who's like 6'9" with a 40-inch vertical who doesn't want to play basketball. It's like very disappointing. That's what that's what the crypto space is to me. It's very disappointing. Like I want better from it, and I ask more from it. I want more. I want it to deliver more for me. And what's happened instead is a bunch of uneducated pitch men who are, renting Lamborghinis and have fake watches. And there's a Lambo index, and there's just like, it was just very clear that the wrong people were getting their hands on this and pitching it quicker because it was unregulated. And you'll notice if you go back and watch the people who were pitching binary options and Forex, those people quickly rotated into cryptocurrency, and they had no experience with which to even make those claims. And so it's just it was the right message, but the wrong people were giving it.